Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Derek. ¿Y tú?
Me llama Katana.
Chingón. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Seeking Mount Parnassus. I am the poet formerly known as Derek.
And I'm Katana.
We're trying to reach our Spanish-speaking audience that we have. I know we have millions of Spanish-speaking listeners, trillions of Spanish-speaking
Maybe they're
listeners.
going to feature us on Univision.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Derek. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien.
¿Dónde está el baño? Yo no sé, ¿eh? Chingón. Simón? I don't know. Sorry, I've lost it. I've often lose it each day. I've got a interesting, strange way of living where I can't control the things that I say, and I don't try to. They just pop out um, in an Aquarius rising type of way.
Yeah.
Now that we've discovered that my actual birth chart is Aquarius rising, is starting to make much more sense. Kind of like Frank Serpico.
Oh, yeah.
We
Very
watched
much.
Serpico recently, and it felt good. It was good. It was a good movie. But one of the things about Frank Serpico, at least in the movie, was that he was a wacko. He wore really weird clothes.
Yeah.
He did things that are really strange. He didn't follow any rules.
hmm
He was a whack job kind of.
Yeah, but then he had this really strong moral compass,
Right.
which ended up putting him at odds with the mainstream,
hmm
which sounds familiar.
Oh yeah, I love to be at odds with the mainstream. Are you
Yeah.
at odds with the mainstream? Who are you? Are you listening to this right now? Are you at odds with the mainstream, or are you part of the mainstream?
Yeah.
Are you the man? How does it feel to be the man?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've never been the man. I am a man. Today we were going to talk about different types of things, possibly related to different Pluto generations. Pluto and Leo, we talked about last time.
hmm
Pluto and Virgo, Pluto and Libra, Pluto and Scorpio, Pluto and
Sagittarius. I don't know if
Sagittarius.
we'll get that far,
Yeah.
but yeah.
The reason we thought about talking about at least some of these types of things is that we're trying to find our true, authentic expression in our lives through talking to each other on this podcast.
hmm
And what we've noticed, at least personally, is that the art of self-expression has been strangled, has been
hmm
snuffed out, has been choked, has been slapped, has been put inside of a cage and sent to the bottom of the ocean.
Mm.
But guess what? When you put the truth in the bottom of the ocean in a cage, it resurfaces, and then you're going to have to answer to the cops. When the cops knock on the door and say, "Hey, excuse me, I'm wondering what that weird smell is coming out of your basement," you might have to answer some hard, truthful questions
Mm.
of all the sick shit you've been doing for the last 20 years.
Mm.
And I think that's what's about to happen now. We're
Mm.
entering Pluto in Aquarius, and the Aquarian age
Mm.
is upon us, like they've been
Mhm.
saying for 40 years.
Mhm.
And the truth is going to come out
Mhm.
related to authentic
Mhm.
self-expression
Mhm.
and PC, political correctness.
Mhm.
What are some of the other terms? You know, back in the day before it was PC,
Mhm.
it was like something else, wasn't it? In the 90s,
I don't know.
maybe it was. Maybe PC was the original, but then it became. Now it's like I don't
I
know.
don't either, actually.
We're not a part of the mainstream. We don't
No.
watch TV or the news. We don't use social media. We have no clue what's going on in the fake world of the internet. So we don't know what the common colloquialisms are related to political correctness.
Right.
But we do know that when we do have interactions with some, we see the words, we hear
Mhm.
the double speak, the news
Mhm.
speak
Mm.
of
Mm.
the current age, and then we're shocked that it's
Mhm.
still around.
Mhm.
I can't believe political correctness is still around. It's shocking to me.
Yeah, I think and it jumps to Pluto and Libra.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it this morning while we were doing our horse tours
hmm
about should we just go right to Pluto and Libra, or should we talk about Pluto and Virgo? And I was just kind of laughing to myself because one of the shadow sides of Virgo is this endless preparation
Yes.
and not action. It's just preparation, taking endless classes, endless planning, endless organizing,
Mm-hmm.
and never being actually ready to do anything or feeling ready to do anything. So not doing anything.
Right.
And I was just thinking, Pluto and Virgo, you guys are getting old. You better do it if you're going to do anything.
What is the highest age you think for Pluto and Virgo?
So Pluto and Virgo, the earliest ones were 1957.
Okay.
So how old does that make you?
67, 77, 87, 97, 2007, 2017. 2027 would be age 70.
All right.
So, you know, they're
So
like
then there's early 60s.
Yeah, early 60s.
That's the oldest.
The oldest.
And then it goes to 1971. So those people are still somewhat younger.
Yeah.
50s. But yeah, there's not much to say about the Pluto and Virgo generation because I think they've just been trapped in Virgo inaction.
Right.
And self-criticism and guilt and shame,
Right.
and all of these things that are so crippling and make you unable to do anything. So that makes them. You made a joke about Pluto and Virgo. Thank you for contributing to your 401k.
Yeah, thank you for contributing to your Roth. Pluto and Virgo, the generation of shame. Thank you for imparting deep shame into your children so that they could carry it forward into the 90s to create political correctness.
And the criticism, I guess, maybe that laid the ground for the Pluto and Libra political correctness, because the Virgo criticism, self-criticism, and the willingness to just accept that you must be wrong,
right,
and therefore you're bad and you need to change everything about how you see things and how you speak. So when the Pluto and Libra came in, which is 1971 to 1983, and these are the bulk years because planets go retrograde. There's a few months on either side where,
right,
but most of it. When they came in, I think the Pluto and Virgo people were just like, "Oh my God, I'm wrong. I'm so sorry.
mm-hmm.
I'm a terrible person.
Yeah.
How can I change? How can I be better?"
Mm-hmm.
And just took it completely without any fight.
Right.
And then the younger generations, like you were saying, Pluto and Sagittarius are the children of Pluto and Libra.
Right.
They're just growing up with this dogma, and they're ready to accept any dogma because they have Pluto and Sagittarius. They're like, "Oh, this is the program now? Yeah, we're on board.
Right.
Let's do it."
Yeah, Pluto and Libra generation, they're like, "Mommy, no, I don't want to drink Slim Fast. I'm only 9 years old. I don't think I need to lose weight, Mom. I don't want to do the Jane Fonda right now. I'm a little child. I think it's okay to have some chubbiness. When I'm 9, do I really need to wear spandex and work out with a Walkman? Mom, no." And then this Pluto and Libra created political correctness because they didn't want to be shaming their own children. So they said, "Oh, you're so good. You're excellent. You're the best child I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm never going to criticize you. I'm never going to punish you. Everything you do is right. You're so good."
Well, why? Because what does Libra want?
Equality and justice and peace.
Yes.
Diplomatic peace. Harmony.
Let's all just get along.
Right.
Libra does not want a conflict.
No, right.
So they don't want to fight with their own children.
No.
And they don't want to fight with their spouses.
Right.
And they don't want to fight with anything, really, except for this thing about justice. I mean, Libra has this obsession with justice, fairness, equality.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the problem with that Libra is, it's a few things. But one is appearances. That's another Libran thing.
Right.
Like how things look.
Right. Do you look brown? Or black, or white, or what is it? I saw this term the other day. I had no clue what it was. Katana had to tell me what it was. It was like
BIPOC.
BIPOC. I never heard of this in my entire life.
What is it? Black, Indigenous, people of color.
All that means is physically you look like something, and if I look at you and then I say, "Oh man, you're this," but when I look at someone, I just say, "Wow, a human."
Right. Or whatever the person's qualities
George, are. Jim, Jackie, Johnny, how's it going? Brother, sister.
Yeah, so the thing with appearances is a focus on the superficial level, actually.
Right.
And then this feeling of justice and equality and fairness but then that gets focused on a superficial appearance.
Right.
And the polite dishonesty of Libra
Right.
becomes everybody's got to be politely dishonest.
Right.
Not just you if you're Pluto and Libra, which I am. So I'm in this group.
Katana was born in 1981.
Yeah.
A crucial time of the end of the Pluto and Libra.
Right. So I can criticize Pluto and Libra.
Yes, you can.
So polite dishonesty. So then everybody has to be dishonest. Everybody has to get on the same program of lying because that's what's going to keep the peace and that's what's justice and fairness rather than honesty or truth or authenticity of any kind. But I think this thing about appearances actually is something. It's more than we've talked about before. I didn't really realize that.
Right.
Because the thing that always drives me nuts about all of this stuff is not that, I have a degree in women's studies. So I was in I started at the University of California, Berkeley, and I finished at the University of Minnesota.
Right.
In 2001, I finished. It was quite a different thing. Then it was still called women's studies, and they changed it to gender, whatever.
Gender fluid studies. Gender neutral
gender
studies.
non-existent.
Gender isn't real studies.
And I don't want to even talk about gender, but I did learn a lot about systemic oppression and worldwide imbalances of power and violence and all these things. And they were important revelations to me to understand how the system works.
Right.
But it's not about that. To me, it's about this thing with appearances that there's no depth to all of that stuff.
No.
Because ultimately, yes, the system is unfair. Yes.
Duh.
The system is unfair, but it's unfair to everyone, first of all.
It is.
But second of all, this thing about who are we really? Are we just this body? This is just it. We're this body that you have this one lifetime.
No.
This is you.
No.
So it's crucially important then, if this is it, the materialist perspective of the US and a lot of Western culture, this is it.
Right.
You got one life, you've got one body, and this body is you. Because when this body dies, you're done.
Right.
There's no after death, there's no before birth in that worldview.
Right.
So then it does become a much heavier weight on what body do you have in this lifetime? Right. Which is appearances. I mean, it's a channel 2, to use Ram Dass's language. It's a channel 2 consciousness.
Dr. Dick.
You're this.
Right.
And therefore, that's what's most important. And I found it so frustrating, especially because I learned about this stuff 23 years ago. And it's still, I learned about it from people who learned about it even before that. Right. And it's so frustrating to just think, okay, this is still what we're talking about. We're talking about skin color, really? Right. This is what we're talking about now? And this is the focus of not only the focus of all these so-called justice efforts, which that's a whole nother thread, whether it is or isn't. Right. But even just the thrust of the conversation is still being focused on appearances. Right. It's galling to me because how are we going to get anywhere, really, as a human society, if we can't start to realize the body is not you? This is not that important. Right. This is all part of material reality.
You have a soul.
You have a soul.
You were alive before you were born, and you're going to be alive after you die.
Right. And you have probably been every kind of person.
You've been a man, a woman, a child, a black, white, green, yellow,
right.
A dog, a horse,
right.
A cloud.
Right. It's just so temporary, and it's so not liberating, really. It's not going to lead to liberation, and
no,
it's not going.
It hasn't led to liberation.
No, it hasn't led to any kind of fundamental change in consciousness.
No,
the only change that has resulted from this, Pluto and Libra, is control, right, and more oppression. I mean, if describing my background that my politics are mostly anarchist, if you're going to put any label on it. I have Uranus conjunct the sun and Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom is incredibly important to me.
Right.
If I feel constrained and oppressed and afraid
Mm-hmm.
to talk in this system, something's gone very wrong. I mean, I should be the kind of person that if it's working,
Mm-hmm.
it would be working for me. But it's not.
Right.
It's making me feel like I can't say anything either,
Mm-hmm.
which is wrong.
It is wrong.
It's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Pluto has gone from Capricorn to Aquarius,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to start, it's not going to work.
No.
I mean, it worked in
No.
Capricorn because Capricorn is more focused on authority and systems and control.
Mm-hmm.
Aquarius is just ready to buck the system completely.
Right.
And this has now become the dominant thing.
Right.
The dominant paradigm
Mm-hmm.
is political correctness,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're in any kind of like nonprofits or academia or the arts or any of these kind of scenes that have
any areas where liberalism and neoliberalism
yeah
have taken control of.
yeah
I don't know how they were able to do it, but it happened. They've taken control over all those types of things,
mm-hmm.
and all of those things have suffered heavily,
Mm-hmm.
greatly.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best thing about it is, though, there have not been. It's not irreversible. It's extremely irreversible.
it's extremely reversible.
Oh yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
extremely reversible because the truth can't be put in a box.
Yeah
The box will explode. It just takes time. I mean, you can slave down
yeah
someone
yeah
for a period. Eventually, it's going to be a riot. There's going to be a mutiny.
right
As we talked about on the last episode,
right
someone is going to kidnap the captain, tie him up, throw him overboard.
oh yeah the ship
The ship.
Right.
That is going to happen, and
Yeah.
it's going to happen more and more on all fronts.
mm-hmm.
The fact that politics still exists,
Mm-hmm.
that political correctness still exists, that there's even words like
Mhm.
equity, equality,
Mm-hmm.
co-creation.
We don't even know all the
creatrix,
words.
all this bullshit.
Yeah.
That's just because it's just gone. It's run amok,
Yeah.
and it will just die.
I mean, that's what happens. That's what can happen with Pluto. Pluto brings out the shadow.
Right.
So that's what we were joking about with Leo,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit with Virgo. With Libra,
Mhm.
the shadow is, I mean, we know about Libra. I've got Pluto
I have a
in
Libra moon.
and you have a Libra South Node, even more importantly, about the shadow
Right.
of Libra.
I have a Libra South Node in the 8th. So I've been executed, raped, murdered, burned, choked, every type of sick, terrible torture I've experienced in a past life. That's how I got a South Node in the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
But being that it's Libra,
Mhm.
it was possibly bondage, maybe related to the arts, justice, relationships. So we understand. We understand Libra. I mean, we understand the hell out of it. I have a Libra moon. I don't want
Yeah, right.
to be in an argument
Right.
with anyone. Really, I mean, I
Yeah.
want harmony. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But the best way to have harmony is to tell the truth.
The truth.
Immediately.
Right.
As soon as you meet someone, hey, what's up, man?
Right.
How's it going?
Right.
Not like just lying. Lying fucks everything up. Just tell the truth immediately. As soon as you meet someone, how's it going? Bad. Today sucks. I don't want to live.
Yeah.
If that's the truth, excellent. I love you now.
Right.
Maybe we should hang out. Maybe we should do some yo-yoing together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
How do you
I
come
like
up with this stuff?
I like yo-yoing.
I've never seen you yo-yo.
If I had a yo-yo, I'd be doing it right now.
All right, let's get one. He can juggle, though. I have seen that.
I can, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting too if you're curious and you're looking at your own chart,
Hmm.
where the Pluto is sitting
Right.
is going to show you where your own version of that is. So for me, Pluto in Libra is in the 7th house of
Mhm.
marriage and partnership, conjunct Saturn.
Can you describe some of the things that have happened to you in a past life, perhaps?
Sure. Marriages from hell.
Hmm.
And also in this life. seventh house is marriage and partnership. It's also other kinds of partnering and long-term friendships. But I have Venus sitting on my south node, so there's a lot of symbolism around partner, being a wife, being a partner. I think that I was murdered by a husband in a past life. Also, other things similar to what you're saying about persecution and just not fitting in with society or having the wrong appearance or the wrong view. I'm Jewish in this lifetime, but I think that I've been Jewish in previous lifetimes as well. So the Pluto wound, though, is in the seventh house. And then in my first marriage, I was never able to tell the truth.
Right.
And I was always trying to get along.
Why couldn't you tell the truth?
Because of fear of conflict, really. And I think past life fear of the consequences of telling the truth, and of learning pretty quickly, selecting someone who couldn't handle any kind of truth,
right? Who
then reinforced the belief that you can't tell the truth because there's going to be consequences, such as you're going to get strangled to death,
right?
Or something else bad is going to happen, and wanting harmony and wanting to get along and have peace and have equality and perfect balanced fairness in a marriage, which we have now.
Yes,
but I didn't have then, and I think so. For me, I think I've worked through the Pluto and Libra stuff in relationships largely. We don't have a lot of problems with it because we just tell the truth right away.
Yeah.
We know that's the only thing that's going to work. And we don't ever punish each other for it.
No.
So the trust is there. But that's not the case in the broader community. And I also have fear about even the podcast or my writing or other things of, well, I'm going to say what I think. Well, what's going to happen? People are going to stop. People have stopped speaking to us. People have stopped.
Hardly anyone speaks to me. Almost no one, actually.
I mean, we've also stopped speaking to other people, but people have stopped speaking to us, or they stopped following the podcast, or whatever it is, because we're not following the script. And I think that there are people out there that do want to hear the truth, and they are fed up with it, and they know that it's just not the right thing, but they're too scared. Because when you speak up, you get canceled, you get fired, you get ostracized, you lose your friends. I mean, that's understandable.
Right. What's your vaccination status?
Exactly.
What's your political standpoint? What's your victim card?
Right.
What
how
victim,
many punches do you have on your victim card?
How oppressed are you? What if you just want to live? What if you just want to be free? What if you just want to be in the truth? What if you just don't want to do that?
Yeah.
What if you don't want to participate in that? What can you do? What if you work in a nonprofit? What if you work at a bank? What if you work at a bank and you're a bank teller? You're not the manager. You're not even working in lending. You're just a teller. Probably making $16 an hour, maybe less. I don't know, depending where you live. What if everyone in the office is PC and they wear fancy little clothes and they say stupid bullshit and they talk about the latest video and they're happy that they hired a person of color. We need to get more people of color in this place, and this is so good, and we're really helping. What if you're not feeling that? How do you feel? Maybe you feel the opposite of that. Maybe you don't feel anything like. Maybe you would like to wear regular fucking clothes at the bank. maybe you like listening to Dark Throne at night, and you smoke crystal meth at night. Wouldn't you like to say the truth and just be honest? But it might be difficult. I don't think you're going to be able to do that with the pressure of the bank, the bank manager looking at you, all the women talking. You can look up. You're at the bank window and you see the women in their lending offices, and they're calling each other on personal lines, talking about how you're a nonconformist I mean, this is the truth. This is what causes people to not be themselves and not speak
Yeah.
up, because they're afraid
Yeah.
of being the one who's out of the group.
Yeah, I mean it's a deep human fear.
Right.
And other animals have a fear about that as well because it's connected to survival.
Right.
We really can't survive without other humans
No.
in any way. So there is I think just an instinctive fear
Hmm.
of that, but then also the past life trauma
Right.
that everybody's carrying,
Hmm.
knowingly or not,
Right.
about what's happened to them before,
Hmm.
especially if they're inclined to have a different perspective.
Right.
All you have to do is look through history. There's so many examples.
Hmm.
And it's just funny that the arrogance of the current time is that, oh, that doesn't happen now.
Hmm.
That was a previous thing. Well, when Galileo was persecuted, those people were ignorant. Like, that's not going to happen now.
That's happening
It
every
happens
day.
all the time.
Every single day that happens to pretty much everyone, and
Yeah.
unless you agree,
Yeah.
unless you agree to follow the rules, then you're fucking Galileo right now.
Right. Right. Or if you have any kind of idea that's threatening to other people.
Hmm.
I mean, also, the other thing I thought of is that it's the transiting south node is in Libra
Oh, right.
right
Yeah,
now.
we're still on that.
Yeah, which means for everyone,
Hmm.
these Libran issues are coming to the fore.
Right.
So definitely more for people that have anything going on in Libra in their chart,
Hmm.
but everybody's feeling it on some level.
Right.
And so the challenge is to move towards Aries,
Hmm.
which is the opposite of Libra. We've talked a lot about of
Right.
direct action, truth, zero hesitation,
Hmm.
zero thinking about, is this going to please everyone? Is everyone going to like this?
Hmm.
I mean, I think one of the worst manifestations of this is nonprofit consensus building
Hmm.
activities. The people pleasing. It's people pleasing to the max. No one wants to take any leadership because they don't want to offend anyone and they don't want to be accused of being not inclusive
Hmm.
or whatever it is. So there's no action.
Mhm.
Nothing happens. Nonprofits do nothing.
Mhm.
They cannot make decisions. They cannot take action. They
Mhm.
can't change anything. They just repeat the same thing.
They never fire anyone.
They never fire anyone. Having been a nonprofit organizational consultant for 15 years, I can tell you, it's very, very rare
Mhm.
for nonprofits to fire anyone, even when there's like blatant
Mhm.
incompetence.
Mhm.
And I've said to the people, look, this person is not doing their job. They're causing problems. They won't do it
Mhm.
because people pleasing. They don't
Mhm.
want to offend anyone. They don't want to ruffle any feathers.
Mhm.
I mean, the interesting thing is that each sign, the way the zodiac goes, there's a back and forth, like a volley
Mhm.
between one sign to the next to kind of correct
Yeah.
imbalances. So from Leo to Virgo, you
Right.
know,
Right.
so from the king to the virgin in terms
Mhm.
of the archetypes, or the king to the servant,
Right.
literally.
Mhm.
And then from Virgo to Libra, I mean, I guess that's actually interesting. How does that work? I mean, so from the Virgo criticism,
Mhm.
maybe that's what it is. Like Virgo criticism to Libran not wanting to say anything negative about anything.
Right.
Ever.
Right. Mhm.
I'm sure there's a lot of other angles on that, but let's just keep it at that for the point of this discussion. Libra to Scorpio.
Mhm.
So then Scorpio is this truth, wanting to go to the truth.
Right.
So I guess we can go to Pluto and Scorpio.
Okay.
I mean, we made it. We made it here.
That's true.
So Pluto and Scorpio, I mean, again, shadow side. Pluto's got the wound. It's
Mhm.
the shadow side. It can be the seed of transformation,
Mhm.
but not initially. Initially, it's the dark side.
Right.
So Scorpio is like telling everything.
Mhm.
It's the too much information generation. I
Right.
think it's like way too much information.
Right.
No boundaries, telling everyone their business,
Mhm.
all of their sexual traumas, which is also part of Pluto and Scorpio,
Right.
taking their clothes off on Instagram, putting their journal up on social media.
Mhm.
They're trying, I think, to bear it all,
Right.
but it's all fucked up. because
Right.
it's the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's your turn. You're Pluto and Scorpio.
Yeah, I'm Pluto and Scorpio generation. I was born in 1987. I think it's 84 to 95 roughly is the
Yeah.
Pluto and Scorpio.
Yeah.
We took the Pluto. My parents, I think, are Pluto and Virgo.
Yeah, probably.
But a lot of my peers, as I grew up, were Pluto and Libra,
Mm-hmm.
because I was in the punk scene and I hung out with a lot of older people than me. But the Pluto and Scorpio, I think the first answer is to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is extremely distorted because the person never learned what the truth was. They just dove directly in. They went to the tarot card reader. The tarot card reader said, "You're gonna be rich," and then they ran with it. And now they think that they're the center of the universe and that they deserve to be everything, and that justifies their own narcissism. It justifies basically anything. Like I'm this or that because that's the truth. I'm poor. That's the truth. So that's great, and everyone should be happy, and everyone should pay me because of all the shit that I'm willing to say. But it's really not truthful. It's just too much information, and it's too much. It's not the truth. Actually, there's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing, I think. It's like the fake truth.
Right, right.
It's revealing something, or it is crossing some kind of social, because Libra is also much more about manners and what's proper and etiquette and diplomacy, and
Right.
and Scorpio is not about those things at all.
Right.
But yeah, it's not the truth either. It's just shocking things that are shocking.
Right.
But they're not shocking because they're true. It's not. It doesn't have the actual depth, like you always say. It's fake depth. Pluto and Scorpio is fake depth.
Right. Right. They want to have the tattoos, wear the crop top and the short shorts, and be all about something that has not. Then you talk to them for an hour and you realize they've never read a book. They don't even know. They don't even know one Smashing Pumpkins song. They're wearing a Nirvana shirt. They don't even know that Kurt Cobain shot himself with a shotgun. It's fake. It's not truly real.
Right.
They're wearing Vans. This is something that I'll come after you. I'll do it. I have done it before. I'm not scared of doing this. If you're wearing Vans and you're walking around town, I don't know if you know this, but Vans is a company that was started in 1966 for the purposes of skateboarding. Their catchphrase is Vans off the wall. It's all about skating. Skateboarding is the reason for Vans to exist. People now walk around town wearing Vans. I've seen these people in Santa Fe. It's an old guy, Pluto and Virgo, possibly Pluto and Leo, at a pizza shop outside with some fancy fucking clothes on, wearing Vans.
Right.
Vans are for people who skateboard. The end.
Right.
If you don't skateboard, don't buy them. It's wrong. It's fake.
Although, isn't that a good Pluto and Libra thing? Appearances.
Ah, yes, true. It is. That is all it is. It's just appearances.
And this whole thing of how people dress. I mean, the high side of Libra would be artistic expression and an aesthetic sensibility.
Right.
Appreciation of beauty, ability to make things beautiful. But it's all distorted into materialistic versions of that.
Right.
So
right. Trends.
Yeah, trends. People wearing all these crazy clothes and the brands that don't mean anything when they wear them.
Right.
Like Patagonia.
Right.
But they're being worn just for appearance's sake.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is I think also the problem with the political correctness and the problem with control of speech and thought. It's I don't know if it goes that far, but they do try to control how you think.
Oh yeah,
If
definitely.
that's what all these trainings and workshops are about.
Right.
Of you need to think differently and you need to change your perspective and you're privileged and you need to. So they are trying to change the way you think
right.
as well. The problem is it doesn't work. So it just becomes, it's an appearance. So then everybody's just saying the things that they're being very careful to say the right things, but it's not genuine. It's not coming from the heart.
No.
Not only that, but the other problem is that it creates a mistrust of your own voice and your own intuition and your own instincts and your own heart.
Right.
Because you're being told you're wrong. The whole way you have viewed things is wrong, and you need to completely change how you think about things and how you do things.
Right.
Yeah, you could make the argument that in some cases that's needed, but it's never worked. I mean, if you want to look back, look at the Cultural Revolution in China.
Right.
I mean, that's what Mao did. They were re-education camps.
Right.
I mean, that's not that far from an equity workshop in my mind.
Yeah. It's exactly the same. It's
You
just
think
called something
wrong.
else.
Yeah. The way you think is wrong. Get on our program.
Right. We're all privileged for some reason because we're white.
Right.
So that means we're privileged. Why? I don't know.
Right.
Because we said,
Right.
because some person said
Yeah.
that we for some reason are taking their opinion as being something that matters, and now we're going to say that this matters for you. And what if you don't feel that that's the case? What if you
Right.
aren't privileged?
Right.
I mean, I've met a lot of people who are not privileged. Most people I've ever met
Yeah.
are not privileged at all.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so if you're in a workshop and they're saying, okay, your default is you are privileged, you're wrong, you're
Yeah, you're
evil,
wrong.
you're evil.
You should feel guilty.
You should feel guilty
You
about
should-
everything you've
yeah.
ever done, and you should treat everyone with reverence if they're different looking than you.
Yeah.
Why? I don't fucking know, because we said.
Right.
If this makes you feel bad inside,
Mhm.
it's gonna fuck up everything, and then you're gonna take this on as something that's not really you, and now you're trapped in a Libran style hell. It's just
Yeah.
like a fucked up marriage where
It is.
where you're not saying the truth.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's like when we were we were in a cafe the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and the couple sitting next to us, the guy, they're having some kind of argument,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy's sitting there totally checked out, not listening, not even looking at her,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't say shit.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't defend himself. He didn't get up and walk away. He just sat there. I'm sure he was probably a Pluto and Libra, or maybe he was Pluto and Virgo, but for the sake of the conversation, he was in a Libran state of, I'm not going to do anything to upset the apple cart. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to whatever, you know, but that is not a good way to live.
No.
I mean, it becomes abuse, really. And that's what sets you up to take abuse.
Right.
Is if you believe that you're wrong, you're not as good as other people, you don't have any right to speak up. Just a deep sense of lack of confidence in who you are.
Right.
I think that's the thing that, I mean, there's a lot of things I don't like about it, but that's the thing that really hurts the most, I think, is internalizing the questioning yourself and second guessing yourself, and then just starting to feel like you don't know what's right or wrong.
Right.
Actually, I mean, that's brainwashing.
Right.
That's how cults work. That's how fascism works.
Right.
That's how any system gets its hold, is first by undermining your ability to trust yourself. And I mean, obviously, we can all learn and evolve and whatever, but it can't be force fed from an outside source. The other problem is it's just not very enlightened. I mean, it's not very spiritually awake. It doesn't come from the soul.
Right.
If you could go in and experience your heart and your actual feeling of connection with every other being, whether human or not, that can lead to a transformation of consciousness.
Right.
But this isn't that. And this is actually killing that. And it's creating all these layers of dishonesty.
Right.
And you can just see it when you talk to people that they're afraid to talk.
Yeah. I was just this made me think, because before we met each other, we came from different walks of life. I did not go to college. I was an electrician. I was a construction worker as a part of the building trades. Then I joined the Army. At the time, all male construction workers, all male. Then I got out of the Army and I went back to doing electrical work, all male. In these male-dominated industries, it's different than other areas. I've never had an office job. I hardly ever worked with women at all, actually. I've never, so whatever it is that's going on in society is different than I understand. I understand things in a different way because that's just what I've been exposed to so far in this life. But in the construction world and in the Army, the infantry, all male infantry, the Libran way doesn't work that much most of the time. The truth is what happens. Your boss or your squad leader says, "Wake the fuck up and go outside at this time." Then you do it. If you don't do it, then you get punished. You don't get punished by getting a dirty look. You get punished by, okay, see that building over there? Run back and forth from here to there right. for the next 4 hours while I sit down and smoke a cigarette and make fun of your body parts. Man, are you gay? What's wrong with you? Why did you join the Army? Oh, you must have joined the Army because you like guys. And so now you have to listen to your squad leader make fun of you're not actually gay. This is just what's happening to you. This is just this is how it is.
Yeah.
So I came from this understanding of the world, and I think that I'm not advocating for anything like this, but it's different than society at large. When you're in these types of situations where life and death, physical work, dangerous work are involved, there's not much time for pussyfooting around the truth. You have to tell the truth, and you have to be able to be accountable for the truth, because people might die, or you might fuck up something, not in a way that's like lost money.
Right.
Like people might die, like electrically. If you don't ground something properly, the building could burn down and people might die. So if you do it wrong and it's found out, you might get chastised in a way that's really harsh and truthful, which it causes a culture of just the truth. So I think that...
And directness.
Direct, yeah. I mean, absolutely direct. Like my squad leader or my boss never was like ignoring things. If I did something wrong, or if other people did something wrong, they would tell them immediately and then move on. Not holding a grudge or anything. Just, you suck. You fucked up today. Please fix it. You have 1 hour. And then move on. And I think that this is the type of answer that's needed in society.
Aries North Node.
That's what's needed at this moment. Here's the truth. Political correctness failed. Equity is some made-up word. Everyone is equal. If you're human or a horse or a dog, everyone is equal. No one's disadvantaged. No one's advantaged. You're just your own soul that is alive, that's here on Earth, and that's just how it is. And we're going to all be together, so we should just do it. And the best way to do it is to tell the truth. But in this other world, I've had to learn about, college and office from you. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and I've never had to work with women. I've never had to work with
Midwestern women.
I've never had to work with the soft male.
Yeah.
So I've never any male that's in construction or the Army. Yeah. I mean, there's some, but hardly any.
Yeah.
They're usually the alpha type males or the males that are not indirect, extremely direct, and with a big ego of some kind, or just the truth, the honest truth. They might be literally physically stronger than everyone and can show it and prove it all the time.
Right. I mean, that's one thing that's interesting about that whole system, I think. We talk about this a lot, is that you can't fake it.
No.
You prove it or you don't.
Yeah.
You got it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no, like in sniper school, it doesn't matter
No.
what you say.
No.
You either hit the target in the amount of time they give you or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's provable and it's visible and it's action.
Mm-hmm.
It's action oriented,
Right.
which is the opposite
Mm-hmm.
of what goes on in offices, particularly in nonprofits, but I think all offices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that the distorted feminine way,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Libran dark side
Mm-hmm.
of don't tell the truth, appearances, smile at the people you hate,
Mm-hmm.
talk about them behind their back, but just smile and get along.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever tell them what's really going on,
Mm-hmm.
why you don't want to be their friend anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of hell.
Right.
And I think people might not like whatever we're saying, maybe they don't like the thing about Aries style,
Mm-hmm.
but the North Node is in Aries right now.
Right.
That's the deal, people. That's what we're learning at this moment, or that's the opportunity of what needs to happen.
Right.
You can choose not to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to work for you
No.
in the long run.
You can choose to wear Vans outside in Santa Fe if you want, but if I'm around, there's
a danger.
There's one guy around that knows. I skateboard. I've been skateboarding since I was 4 years old.
Oh my God.
I've been skateboarding for over 30 years. I know how to skateboard, and skateboarding and Vans, skate shoes are supposed to be worn by people who skateboard.
Yeah.
If you can't skate, take off the Vans. Wear New Balance.
Yeah.
Wear Dockers. Wear loafers. Wear fucking anything.
Nikes.
Pick anything.
Yeah.
But Vans are for people who skate. If you can't skate, don't pretend. Don't pretend.
Yeah.
I should be able to say when I go out in public, what the fuck? Who said you could wear those shoes? What is this?
Yeah,
you're stealing my whole fucking 30 years of life. You're putting it on as if it's something that is easy. It's
right,
a theft. It's theft.
It's identity theft.
It's identity theft. Right. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
And it needs to be called out at large in every sector of everything that exists.
Or how about the people that wear Carhartt overalls to the coffee shop?
Right.
I mean, have you ever been on a farm or a ranch? Did you just come from one? I don't think so, because your overalls are not dirty.
Right.
Our overalls are always dirty, constantly dirty, because we actually work in them, and then we take them off and don't wear them to the coffee shop.
No, overalls. The point of overalls is so that they go
pants.
over all your other clothes, so that when you get horse shit on them, you don't have horse shit on your regular clothes.
Right.
You take off the overalls because it has had nothing to do with fashion in any way.
No,
it has to do with dirtiness getting on your body from doing physical labor.
Right.
That's what that's for. If you're not doing that, don't buy overalls. What the fuck do you need overalls for? Unless you're
5 years old.
Unless you're Salt and Pepper, and you're crisscross, and you're performing live. Okay, all right, you got it. But if not, no, take them off. It's fucked up. It's wrong. It's identity theft. It's lying.
Yeah.
It's untruthful.
Right. Which actually. So this will get into territory that'll make me feel nervous. So this is probably exactly what I should talk about.
Oh yeah.
So the fake spiritual,
mm-hmm.
the people that have stolen the spiritual identity,
right?
That really pisses me off, and it gets to me because there are all these people now. So someone sent us a link to some organization that's doing.
No offense to you, person listening.
To the person who sent us the link, we know you're doing your best.
You're doing an excellent job. This is in no way a slight towards you in any way.
The organization is like some hodgepodge between liberal bullshit and stolen spiritual concepts and then some trauma language.
Mm-hmm.
But they literally stole the title of a book by Suzuki Roshi, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, which was written, I believe, in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Suzuki Roshi was a Japanese Zen priest who came here from Japan and was one of the first Zen Buddhists here in America.
Right.
He wrote the book. Well, he actually didn't write the book. It's transcribed lectures. I don't even think he could write in English. And that was the title. Mm-hmm. They're doing some workshop on the beginner's mind.
Intro to beginner's mind.
These people have no training. in Buddhism. They have no background. They haven't spent 20 plus years studying Buddhism. I'm sure they probably have read one book. Maybe they've read one book.
Maybe.
At best.
Maybe.
They don't know what they're talking about. They have not put in the work. They don't have any authority to be using these concepts or to be putting themselves out there as spiritual teachers. But because everybody on the staff looks a certain way, they're all a certain color and they have certain hairstyles and clothes and names and different pronouns. Therefore, now they are the authority somehow.
Yeah.
With no question. No one's going to question. You can't question them because now they are untouchable because I'm a Black transgendered something and I'm using the pronoun love. What the fuck, by the way? But therefore, no one can say. You can't say to that person, what's your background?
Yeah.
Where have you studied? What practices have you done? How long have you been doing these things? What's going on in your personal life? What's your relationship like? Do you have any authority at all to talk about these things other than your skin color, which is not, that's the skin color. It's appearance. I mean, why can't we question these things? I know what I'm saying. I can feel it. It's wrong. Everyone's going to be pissed. How dare I? Black people can say their authority is that they're Black and they've had the Black experience. Okay, you could talk about that, but don't talk about Suzuki Roshi. If you don't know who he is. I mean, how did that make you an expert on that? I don't get it. It's not real. And it's dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Especially when you're putting something out as a spiritual tool or the trauma, using the word trauma, and you have no training and you're unhealed in your own trauma. And what are you doing? You could hurt people. This could be dangerous for people.
Yeah, it's fraud.
Yeah.
Fraud is wrong. And fraud isn't wrong only financially. All types of fraud is straight up wrong. If I put on a robe and a collar and walk into a Catholic church and misrepresent myself as a priest, that is fucking wrong. And I should be jailed. Just because these people are not literally doing that doesn't mean it's any less harmful. It's much more harmful because they're masquerading as just free floating spirituality. It's fucking wrong. It should be abolished. One of the things they did in relating to veterans, and I don't remember what year it was, but it's called Stolen Valor. You cannot put on a dress uniform and with awards and go to a function and get a free buffet claiming that you're a Iraq war veteran with a Purple Heart or wear a Medal of Honor. If you wear any awards or any of those things, it's illegal. It's called Stolen Valor.
That's a good name.
And it's fucking wrong. And it should be called out everywhere, not in just these special contexts. If you steal valor, if you steal thousands of years of traditions and masquerade them as your own, that's wrong, and you should be flogged. I mean, you should be. I mean, at the minimum, you should be fired. Or you should.
Someone should call you out.
Someone should say, you can't use this title. What do you mean you can't? You're not using beginner's mind. That's already taken. I'm not going to write a book called Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism. That's already a title used by Chogyam. That's fucking wrong. I can't. You do that. I got to come up with my own titles.
Exactly. And we come up with our own titles for our podcast.
You have to be true. You have to be in the truth. Here's the truth. I'm Derek. I was born in Albuquerque. I did certain things. I grew up in the west side of Albuquerque. For all I know, I was Mexican. Everyone else.
You do have Mexican heritage.
This is just the truth. I'm not masquerading as anything. I'm not trying to be anything, all I know is what the truth is. I've been lots of places. I've done lots of things. I've experienced lots of things, and that qualifies me to speak the honest fucking truth. And if anyone wants to say let me know. I mean, I believe in the truth, and the truth is, you know, be yourself.
Be yourself.
Be yourself.
Just yourself.
Yourself is an excellent thing to be.
Right. And that you have the authority to be.
Right,
No matter what color skin you have, you can be yourself.
Right.
I mean, this whole thing, it's also about freedom. And I think that'll be another interesting thing when the Sagittarian people get older.
Mm-hmm.
They're in their Pluto and Sagittarius are late teens, early 20s, I think now.
Mm-hmm.
When they get a little bit older, we'll see what they have to say about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
But it is about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing is about freedom. It's about the ability to be free in who you are and to say what you think and to be authentic. Mm-hmm. But I think that people have lost, they don't even know what it means. Mm-hmm. I mean, the word, the whole, what was the thing? Moving in authenticity?
Yeah, moving in thought.
You know, what the hell does that mean? I don't know. But the words get stolen. Mm-hmm. It's the doublespeak thing. Mm-hmm. Is that what it's called? Doublespeak?
Doublespeak and newspeak.
From 1984.
Yeah.
The word has been robbed of its meaning. Mm-hmm. I think people don't even know anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you spend so many years in a Libran state, you know, I know, lying to yourself, lying to your intimate partners about who you are,
wearing clothes that you don't even believe in, that you're just doing for trends so other people will like you.
Yeah, right. Controlling all of your words and what you say so that you say the right thing, and basically trying to change your own way of thinking to what somebody else tells you is the right way of thinking. Mm-hmm. How are you going to know? I mean, it's going to take some kind of major shakeup, which we've got that Uranus-Jupiter conjunction coming in Taurus. You know, see, maybe that will help.
Yeah.
Shake things up. Mm-hmm. But to get back to who you really are. Mm-hmm. I mean, we talk to people and we ask, well, how are you really doing? Well, what's really going on? People just look at us with this blank look like, oh, I'm fine. It's good. I mean, we've made it a rule for Celia, who's 11, can't say good anymore.
Yeah.
When we ask her, what's going on? How are you feeling? Good. We've now made that's not allowed.
Right.
You got to say something else.
Yeah.
What's really going on?
What's really going on?
You're sad. You're mad. You're happy about something. Something's fun. Something's scary. I mean, something. Mm-hmm. But people seem to not even be able to. It's like they don't even know that they are becoming a robot. Right.
No, people don't know. That's the thing. I was thinking of this morning when I was walking the dogs. Mm-hmm. The inundation of television and mainstream media. You don't even know that that's happening to you until you remove yourself from it.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was just walking the dogs, and for some reason, that 70s show, popped into my mind. And then I started to think, like, damn, I used to watch TV for a long period.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched television in that form since 2002 or 3. Mm-hmm. Since then, I have no fucking idea what's going on. But the people that are still plugged into that whole thing, they don't even understand or know that there is something else.
Yeah.
That there's another way, that the things that they're seeing and hearing and feeling are manufactured for them.
Right.
You know?
Right. And then just how do you learn to be honest and reconnect with yourself? I think you do have to get out of those kinds of things and withdraw from that.
Yeah.
And you have to be around people or beings that are going to hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. I think that's an important thing too. You and I are so sensitive to each other. Mm-hmm. We can tell immediately that something's, you're not feeling good. You've got some kind of emotional storm coming through.
Yeah.
So there's no way to hide.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that early on with you, where there were times where I was like, well, I don't want to say anything about how I'm feeling because I don't want to upset him. It's not that big of a deal. It's not even about him. Mm-hmm. Why mention it? It's just going to ruin the day. Uh-huh. And you would be like, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I'm not going to be able to get away with this shit anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to tell him immediately.
Yeah.
And then we've just gotten practiced at it, and now it's easy. Mm-hmm. Plus, there's no consequences. In fact, the consequences for that are more harmony,
right?
More truth and more trust and the openness,
right?
But I think you need someone like that If you don't have a human, try a horse. Or, I mean, horses they will not tolerate bullshit.
No.
Try to lie to them. They're going to show you in some way that they're not buying into it. They'll either be outwardly unwilling to cooperate with you or be around you, or if they are going to do it, they're going to go into a Libran shutdown state,
Right.
where they're a robot horse,
Right.
and they're not going to give you any real, picture
Right.
of who they are. But they can't lie, and they can't accept lying
Mm-hmm.
because they just don't have whatever that is
Right.
that makes humans able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do it.
Right. Excellent. That's great.
Yeah.
I think people want the truth. That everyone wants the truth.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to hear the truth,
Yeah.
and everyone wants to speak the truth. And you can. I give you, everyone listening right now, just tell the truth to everyone you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone you meet, everywhere you go, everything you see, tell the truth. The truth will start being real to you
Mm-hmm.
immediately. But it also will reveal the truth.
Yeah.
Some people are lying to you right now.
Right.
Some people don't love you.
Yeah.
Some people are using you.
Mm-hmm.
You are using yourself.
Mm.
You aren't even being true to yourself.
Mm.
You're not even telling yourself the truth. You know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you don't want to do what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just be honest. Tell the truth.
Right.
As soon as you do, the truth will become your best friend, and you will suddenly start to see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And then the future and the possibilities are totally wide open. Suddenly, a bird lands next to you and starts singing, and you can hear the truth.
Mm.
Whereas before, you're in your own world of bullshit in your mind. You've got the ability. Everyone has the ability to speak and to hear the truth. But if you don't do it, it's going to find you under the ocean, locked in a cage, struggling to breathe. But you're going to pop up one day on the surface, get a few sucks of air in through the little hole, and then you'll have the ability to see the sun again and tell the truth and hear the truth.
Mm.
But to do that, you need to have some courage
Mm.
and some gumption,
Mm-hmm.
some
Fire.
What happened? What happened? The social justice and equity and blah blah blah. Supposedly, the point of all that is because they want justice.
Right.
How the fuck are you going to get justice if you don't have courage?
Right.
If you feel you're being oppressed, then go arrest and chain your oppressor immediately. If you feel unequal, become equal today. If you're being used, no, stop it. If you're not willing to have courage, then you're willing to get oppressed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I thought of a lot of different things when you're talking about that, but the oppression, the other thing that's the fallacy
Mm-hmm.
of this whole thing is that this system is ever going to be fair.
Right.
It's ever going to be just. It's ever going to be. It's not.
No.
It's not. The very structure of it, the very DNA of the capitalist system is oppressive. It's based on exploitation, and it's based on the vast majority of people never being free and never being treated fairly.
Right.
It cannot be different.
Right.
So trying to change the nature of the thing, that it's just not going to work.
No.
And it's trapped in a materialist, superficial perspective.
Right.
Instead of seeing past this whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
this system is not real. It's designed to make people crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed to oppress people.
Right.
It's designed to disempower people and make people feel hopeless and make people feel trapped.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not worth putting your energy into trying to change it.
No.
Just leave the system altogether and start something new.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only way. And also that the new thing is not another financial system or another political system.
It's not Bitcoin.
Yeah, it has to have a spiritual source.
You know what? Also, you matter. Guess what? You matter. You're a champion. Your actual true soul actually matters. Not your stupid, trendy bullshit version. Your actual soul, your human experience, your soul's past lives experiences, they actually matter. And I would love to hear the actual truth from the masses, the real actual truth. You have a lot to say. You have a lot going for you. You have a lot inside. It's unstoppable, completely unstoppable. Your actual truth. You don't need to be a part of some oppressed bullshit system. You don't need to identify with some race or some oppressed bullshit. Whatever it is you've got, it's a lot. It's enough, and it's excellent, and it's unique. No one can make the shit that you can make. Only you, and you can do it. It's immediately as soon as you let go and walk away. Something that they tried to do in the '60s that they succeeded at, but it didn't go far enough, was the dropout movement. What we need now is a walk away movement.
Yeah.
But walk away in all senses of the word. Walk away from multiculturalism. Walk away from race. Walk away from I'm oppressed. Walk away from victim. Walk away from the financial system. But while you're walking away, you're shedding the chains. You're like Forrest Gump. You've been trapped in leg braces your whole youth, thinking that you're fucking cripple. You're a champion, long distance ultra marathon runner, and all you need is some bullies to throw rocks at you. As soon as you get the courage to feel your true essence, you're gonna run. The leg chains and the leg braces will just pop off, and next thing you know, you're running 23 miles per hour, hopping a fence with no hands, and you've got it. That's everyone. That's everyone who's alive right now, listening to this right now. You've got everything you need. Yeah, you don't need anything from the system or from some trend or some fucking stupid corporate ad campaign or anything. You've got everything. They want you. That's what you don't understand. These people want you. They need your opinions. They need your votes. They need your fire. They need your originality. They have none.
Right.
They're stealing them from you.
Right.
It's you that's got it all. And if you only realize that, then this whole thing would fucking crash tomorrow. Goodbye capitalism. Goodbye Western civilization. Goodbye all the bullshit that we've had to struggle with. And we could just live free, being ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and just relate to each other.
Right.
From the heart.
Right. It's from
as
the heart.
Individuals.
Right.
Like you would as a real
right.
alive human being.
Right.
I don't even know that exists anymore.
Right.
I think the problem, the political correctness has killed the heart.
Mm-hmm.
How do you relate from the heart if you can't speak freely?
Mm-hmm.
You can't.
No.
Everything's got to go through this filter,
and
you can see it so clearly. And people that are doing that,
Mm-hmm.
they're editing themselves, they're stopping themselves, they're trying to talk and then stopping. They're putting all these things in, like, well, I don't know if I can say this, or I'm not really. I just all these excuses, all these ways they're trying to protect themselves rather than just being full from the heart,
right,
alive, and trusting that is enough.
It is enough. It's enough. It's more than enough. It's everything. That's it. That is what it is. Your true, authentic heart voice is enough. It could power the earth forever. There's no need for electricity. There's no need for Wi-Fi. There's no need for any damn thing. The heart energy of love and truth is enough. It's more than enough. It's all there is. And the more that people awaken to their own heart energy of love, the quicker and faster and better and easier it'll be for everyone to live in harmony together as a species on planet Earth, at least for now and in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Next time we'll see what the fuck is going on.
Right. Maybe we won't be on Earth anymore.
Yeah, maybe we'll be floating purple discs
That'd be cool.
or something like that.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. Thanks, hon. And I think that the heart, just to trust the heart, because isn't the whole message about political correctness, what it's actually saying is that you can't trust your own heart, and that most human beings don't have a heart. Because if you do, then when you meet someone in your day-to-day life, if you're awake from the heart, you're going to relate to them that way, with compassion, with love. You're going to know from your own heart when something is wrong, when you see suffering, when you see injustice, real injustice.
Right.
You will know. You will know. You don't need someone else to tell you you're wrong and you can't see it. By someone telling you you can't see right from wrong, they're telling you that you are not human. You don't have a heart that you can trust. Really, you don't have Buddha nature. So all you people doing equity workshops, masquerading as Buddhists, stop. Because a Buddhist would say, you have Buddha nature. You can trust yourself.
Right.
You can trust that your true nature underneath everything is love and compassion. If that's true, then we don't need to be reprogrammed, and we don't need to be told that we're wrong. We can trust our own hearts and our own guts and our own eyes of what's happening, how it feels. When we go to different horse barns where they're keeping horses in the old way, and we see these horses in stalls, they never go outside, they don't see the sun, they don't have any other horses with them. It hurts. It hurts my heart and yours too. It's painful. It's wrong. You can see the suffering. I don't need someone to tell me this is wrong and you need to. I know. I just know because I'm alive. That's the thing that has been lost. So then how do you live from the heart if you're being told the way that you perceive things is just totally wrong? You can't.
Right.
I mean, what are you going to fall back on? All you've got then is the programming you've been given and your thinking mind, which Buddhists would also tell you is not the right source of information.
No.
So this is it's all wrong. The mashup of equity training and Buddhism, wrong. It's philosophically wrong.
Right.
And I think if anyone could actually think far enough or know the philosophy before they start using the terms, they would be able to see that.
Right.
But they don't. They skim the top. Okay, let's take beginner's mind. Oh, let's take mindfulness. Let's take Zen.
Yeah.
I mean, what does that mean? People have no idea what it means, so they use it all the time.
Right.
If they knew the philosophical basis of it and could actually think it through and feel it through, they'd come to a different conclusion.
Right.
Love is the law.
Oh yeah, it is. We're here. Here we are. We're here today. It's fucking 29
It's
February. It's a leap year. Every 4 years, somehow there's one more day. I don't know how, but apparently
Because calendars aren't real.
Yeah, today is leap day. But here we are. Where the love is the law, and the truth is the law. Love is the law. The truth is the law.
Love is the truth.
Love is the truth. So be truthful to yourself first. And from there, everything will flow properly. And together, we will win.
Soha.
Soha. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you could email us at seekingmountparnassus@gmail.com, our website, seekingmountparnassus.com. You can listen to us on Spotify. If you're like anything you heard, it's possible for you to send an email to us and let us know if you liked it. If you're living in another country, let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. If you're listening on Spotify, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's little things. What did you think of this episode? I put a bunch of different questions in all the previous episodes. Feel free to say what you think of this episode. I would love to hear what you have to say. I love the truth. The truth is my friend. And please tell me what your idea of that is. You can listen to us on Spotify, Fountain, Apple, Podcast Guru, so many other types of things. But please do, and please find the truth for yourself and find it today. Thank you.